Old friends sat on their park bench like bookends. A newspaper blown through the grass falls on the round toes of the high shoes of the old friends. Can you imagine us years from today, sharing a park bench quietly? How wonderful to be 70. Old friends. Hi, everybody. This is your brother, Narada Walden, and we are old friends. We've been talking on my podcast for a while now, telling nice stories, and I just want to say hello and wish everybody great times as best possible through this pandemic, and to stay peaceful as best possible and loving as best possible and take care of your family as best possible. Take care of yourself as best possible. For me, during this time, I've actually enjoyed some time to have for just the family. I have 3 children, Kelly, Kayla, and Michael. Kelly is 6.5, Kayla's 5.5, and Michael's 1.5. So taking care of them with my wife, Katie, has been a big chore. And so to have a little downtime where I can grow with them has been important. So that's what I've been doing. My studio and my home are not so far apart, like a few miles. So I can come over to the studio kind of quietly when no one's here and go back home, take care of the kids. And I've actually enjoyed this time. I've been very creative. Been writing a lot of music. New dance music for myself. A new song for Shanice Wilson I'm working on. New ideas for everybody. And just wanting to stay in touch with God. I pray to God a lot. I think and I feel like God's in charge. So I ask God, are we doing the right things? And God just says stay peaceful. Stay still. And let whatever is going to go pass by. And now I'm noticing, today on my way over here, the car wash was open. So I went and got my car washed. Now that's a new thing. Just even get your car washed is like a new thing. So my car is clean now. I got a really fast car. It's a red sports car, Mercedes. And it goes really fast when I want to. So it's nice when it's clean. So now it's clean. I got a clean machine. And I want to say I wish everybody a good life. I really care about the mom and pop stores and the small people, the people that we don't think about so much. That's who I am. I come from Kalamazoo, Michigan. And in Michigan, there's a lot of poverty. I know that. I was raised kind of in poverty and not very much money rolling around. My grandpa, when I was 10 years old, I'm like 62, took a $100 bill to buy me my first drum set. That was a very big deal at that time. $100 is a lot of money. I think, and $100 now in 2020 is a lot of money. So go figure. We're still trying to keep, on top of our situations financially. We can take care of ourselves and make everything stretch. So that means you got to breathe deep. We got to breathe deep. And we got to say, I love myself. And inside myself is God. My spirit is God. That's the eternal part of me that won't die. Fire can't burn it. The wind can't blow it. You can't die. That's the part that's going to live forever. So we got to be in touch with our own spirit. And I often talk to people who are in heaven. I talk to Whitney a lot. I talk to Aretha a lot. I talk to Clarence Clemens a lot. My brother Ron a lot. My grandparents, Grandma Nellie, Grandpa Alex, Grandpa Val, who bought my first drum set, Grandma Edie, his wife, Big Ed, Edgar Hackley was tough, was strong. They all give me a lot of inspiration, and then from the other side, they're working hard to bring me the good people now. And I know it's happening for you too. From heaven and God and all the angels and all your grandparents, people who are passed on, are doing their very best to make sure that we're at peace now, at best possible. So I make a prayer for all of us for peace of mind, and that we're going to be okay. This is only like the beginning of May, and it's springtime, and everything's shooting up out of the ground. The flowers are coming on strong, and the smell of the fresh air is coming on strong. And just take a minute to kind of step back and appreciate being alive. If your eyes opened up this morning, then you can be grateful that your eyes opened up this morning. And take a deep breath. Hey, what's your favorite song? Maybe play your favorite song. If you play music, play your instrument. Get in touch with your music, because music is right next to God. If God talks in silence in meditation and prayer, right next to meditation and prayer and silence is music. So always be in touch with music. All kinds of music that you love. And I feel like we can be inspired 24 hours a day. Inspiration's here for us 24 hours a day. And my guru taught me you can reach your hand up, spiritually speaking, and grab the bird of inspiration and bring it down. Because they're always flying. Those birds are always flying. You can bring them down anytime and be inspired. You needn't suffer writer's block. You can be inspired anytime you want. I will say this. It's kind of cool when you can keep being in touch with the child in your heart. So you can still get excited about things. Because the excitement in your heart can get the juices going to get that bird of inspiration and to be happy to have the bird of inspiration. Oh, I have the bird of inspiration. I can write a song. Or I have the bird of inspiration. I can talk to somebody I love and tell them I love them. My heart can be open. I can share with somebody how much I really care about them, or how much I really miss them, or how something that they said to me really touched me. Like my friend Frankie, she would say to me, "Well, if you're gonna work hard, because I was always working hard, then you gotta learn how to play hard." I said, oh, okay. So the balance of life is really important. Work hard, play hard. So you have things like that in your life. People have said nice things to you. They've encouraged you along the way. Maybe now you can write them a little letter or a phone call and say thank you for that word of encouragement. Now is a good time for all those types of sentimental, romantic feelings of, I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy I made it this far. And we want to go further. Because there's no place like being on the earth. It's a wonderful place to be. And I saw this great show Disney puts out on the elephants and how smart they are and how they can go from one part of the desert and travel 7 days out to a watering hole. Now, when they get there, they're really thirsty and the water hole could be dried up. Then they got to travel another 7 days to another watering hole. Watch this show called Elephants and how deep these elephants are in their memories to remember 7 days out how to get to where they're trying to get to. Finally, they make it to some water. But the babies are really thirsty, but they do it. So the animal kingdom is incredible. And we are incredible too as human beings, because as human beings, we have divinity inside of us. And we are in touch with the divine inside of us. So you can say we're in touch with the divine, the human, and the animal. The animal wants what it wants. The human in us is conditional. It says, I will love you if you love me. I will give to you if you give to me. I will do for you if you do for me. The divine says, I love you unconditionally. I love you unconditionally. Even if you don't love me, I still love you unconditionally. That's a lot of love. That's love that a mother has for the baby. That's the mother love. That's the love that your mothers have for you and your fathers have for you and your grandparents have for you. Now it's our turn to turn on that love for our babies and for the people that we love. Because that's the high love. Unconditional love. If you don't give me anything, I'm cool with that. I just want to love you because it's a natural thing to love you. I think it's been a wonderful thing that the airwaves have become more open to let people be seen that aren't normally seen. You mentioned Babyface and Teddy Riley. I know they had a big verses of Babyface and Teddy Riley, for the fun of it, and it's very popular. This verses thing has become a very popular thing. One of my friends said, why don't you do a verses with Jam and Lewis? Not Michael Wall and Jam versus Jam and Lewis. I was like, no, you should really do that. People like verses. Hey, whatever, you know what I mean? But more importantly, when I watch Instagram and stuff, I'm seeing a lot of folks popping up out of nowhere and getting their day in the sun. And that's good for people. I think this whole thing is good for people to have a time of relaxation for a moment, slow down, so we can breathe deep and let the music and let the creative thing flow. So yeah, I'm all about creativity flowing, and I am seeing a lot of creativity flowing. I know a lot of writers are writing more, and are being inspired to write maybe on a deeper level perhaps. So that's all good. It's all been good as far as that. There's been a lot of pain. Think about this. There's been more deaths with this virus than the amount of people who passed away in the Vietnam War. That's a mighty statement. So we have to take off our hat and give our love to those who have passed away, our condolences to the families of people who have passed away, and say we are with you. And we can't imagine the pain, but we are with you in our spirit and our mind and our energy and our heart and our body. And we do know that good is coming. Good is coming from this whole thing. A better way of life. A better way of life is coming through all this. Let me take a minute to say thank you to Stacy Lattisaw. Stacy Lattisaw was a little girl, about 11 years old, when I got with her to do Let Me Be Your Angel, Dynamite, Jump to the Beat, My Love, Spotlight. On the second album, Love on a Two-Way Street, and Miracles. And I heard from her yesterday she wants to make a remake of Miracles. That's a good idea. I just love that we have such history with people. And I want to make sure that I give the homage to the people who helped me develop. Stacy's singles, her records, were the first pop records I had success with as a producer. So that's really wonderful. I can say thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Henry Allen. He was the president of Cotillion Records through Atlantic Records at the time. And Henry Allen believed in me because we had a big smash with my record called The Dance of Life, I Should Have Loved You. He picked the song I Should Love to be the single off that record. I was like, wow, you've got great ears, Henry, that you'd choose that song. And he did, because we had a lot of songs to pick from at that time. I was gunning for the top 10. And so Henry said, well, you can make I Should Love You. You can produce this little girl, Stacy Lattisaw, and other artists of mine, like Sister Sledge. And we did All American Girls, and a hot album for them. And then the phone started ringing for Amy Stewart out of the UK. And the phone started ringing from Clive Davis for Angela Bofield and Phyllis Hyman. And we did lots of great work for them. And then, of course, came Patty Austin. And then came Whitney Houston and Aretha Franklin. And Dionne Warwick. And then, of course, Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle. And even Eddie Murphy with Put Your Mouth on Me. And then the OJs of Emotionally Yours in this room, sweating in this room where I'm sitting right now. And Al Green, Your Heart's in Good Hands. He sweats. You'd be surprised how many people really work hard to give their very best. And I can say that everyone works hard to give their best. There's a certain era you can put in the room of some flowers or a teddy bear or just a little stick of incense perhaps, or just a kind word, can trigger someone to really want to do their best, because they realize that you realize, I realize, we want to make something that's going to last for many, many years. When they can smell that in the air, they want to give their best. And they do. So I want to just take a moment to thank Regina Bell for Baby Come to Me, how hard she worked. Barbra Streisand, how hard she worked on a song called We're Not Making Love Anymore. The Temptations, Stay of the Morning Baby, off the Phoenix Rising album, and I want to work with them again. Mariah Carey, how hard she worked doing I Don't Want to Cry and things that we got into on that first album. Stevie Wonder, my inspiration. We did a Christmas album. He wrote a song called I Love You More. How much passion he put into recording that song with myself and Greg Fillinganes. And Dave Frazier helped me to record it. So I have just lots of memories of everybody. Sting coming in here to sing with Yolanda Adams. Where Will You Be for Christmas? Beautiful, beautiful song. These songs are only out in Japan, some of these songs. So we want to get them back out around the world so you can hear them. So I have lots of memories in my heart. One really in particular, I feel like I should tell you, is Teena Marie. She's passed on to heaven. But I will tell you one thing. When Teena Marie sang a song called Out on a Limb, I look at the microphone where she was, and she'd be spinning down to the floor and spinning back up just in time for the second verse. I couldn't believe how fast she was. She was doing all the moves, and down to the floor and back up while performing the song in the studio. Most people when they record it on the, the headphones and they become kind of sterile maybe, or they're focusing on like doing a recording. Not Teena Marie. Teena Marie was like live at the Apollo, down on the floor, spinning back up, carrying on, doing all the moves while she's making this smash recording of Out on a Limb, which when you hear is perfectly in tune. You can't tell she's doing any of that stuff, but she is. So I'm just letting you know, that was mind-blowing. I met Madonna. She came back at that time for me to produce some stuff, and I was awestruck at how fast she blinks. Her brain was so quick. She was blinking really fast as she's talking to me. And I realized that maybe part of her genius and how fast her brain works, because she blinks so fast, like a little hummingbird. It's like, whoa, okay. And she was really smart, obviously. She wanted to become huge. And one night I got a phone call. She's saying, Narada, I'm deciding I'm going to stay in New York and work with Nile Rodgers on my next album. And that album became Like a Virgin. Hello. So, killer. So I still send love to Madonna. We can still work together in our future. Maybe we should. I'm here. There are a lot of folks in the world I still want to work with. I haven't actually worked with. I met Beyonce when she was young. But beyond that, we had not worked together, but I want to. There are a lot of great singers in the world I still want to work with. Adele comes to my mind. Sam Smith comes to my mind. There are a bunch of people who I don't know out in the world. If you want to work with me, we're here. After the whole thing cools down with this pandemic, reach out to Narada Michael Walden at Tarpan Studios. We're hot to trot. We got inspiration going on. We got love, and we got the desire, like Burt Bacharach, for Dionne Warwick to find the right sound, to make the right dress, to make the right pair of shoes, to make the right hat, to find the right thing for you. That's the magic in production, to find the right sound for you and the right song for you, because don't forget, the song is the star. Whitney needed How Will I Know? Whitney needed I Want to Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me. Whitney needed So Emotional. Whitney needed Where the Broken Hearts Go. She needed the songs. They were great songs, and she's got a great vocals, as we know. Pow! This is a story about my brother Ron. I'm born April 23rd, 1952. Ron's born April 26th, 1953, so we're very close in years. He's passed on to heaven, but he and I were really, really close being raised up. He would call me hamburger. I would call him hot dog. I was a bit more on the chubby side. He's more on the lean side and very tall, like my dad. My dad's 6'3". Ron was almost 6'3". But as kids coming up, he was always very, 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 very bright, very smart. I had to work hard at everything. He had to work hard at almost nothing, because books, intelligence, all that was like second nature for him. I couldn't believe it. Where I had to really work hard to get a C, he could just do almost nothing and get an A. So that's how life is. But when I was going to go on the road with a band called Deacon Williams and the Soul Revival, there were some white cats out of Fresno coming through Kalamazoo, Michigan. I had my last test at Western Michigan University of the third semester. It had just finished. I went back to my dorm. I'm thinking, what am I going to get into? I had my drums in my dormitory. They were packed up. And a school bus pulled up, and it was a band in the school bus called Deacon Williams and the Soul Revival. And they said, "We've heard about you." I said, "You heard about me?" I said, "Yeah, we heard about you, and we've come to pick you up and see you come and jam with us and join and play with us." I said, "Really?" They said, "Yeah, we want to go out and play in Flint and Ypsilanti and play around some places in Michigan, and then head on out to the coast of California." I said, "Okay." I put my things in the bus. And as it worked out, we started playing in Kalamazoo, Michigan first, at a club on the north side of Kalamazoo. And we played there for a while. And the band was funky. These boys, it was Larry on guitar, and that was Deacon's brother Larry, and Deacon was a bass player. And he had like a little growth, and he could play funky, and he could sing funky. It's like, and they loved Sly and Family Stone. Then they had this cat who's blind on organ. And they had a girl named Karen, I think her name was, on sax singing, Karen on. So I don't know, they were kind of really cool, and they could draw an audience. So even in Kalamazoo, Michigan, here all of a sudden we were drawing an audience. And we kind of went on the road a bit, and I brought Ron along for a little bit of it. And then as we left town on the bus, Deacon says, "Have you ever tried Purple Haze?" I go, "Purple Haze, the song by Jimi Hendrix?" He go, "Well, no, there's some stuff out now. You kind of take it. It's like a drug in a way, but it's called Purple Haze." I go, "Really?" So they all took this drug called Purple Haze. And we're out in this field, and we all took this thing. I have no idea what it is. It's my first time trying this thing. And there are a bunch of tricycles out in the woods and whatever. And it's kind of fun. Everyone's having a good time. And it's a lot of fun. But then guess what happens? I start thinking I'm away from home. I'm out here with my brother Ron, and I trigger that I'm not around my normal settings. I'm not around. And in fact, I'm actually responsible for my brother Ron now if anything went wrong. And I kind of get into a bit of a headspace that's not good. And I go into the bus to go lay down. And my brother Ron comes in the bus. He goes, are you okay? I go, I'm having a vision of being sick in the hospital, and mom and dad have to come to the hospital. I'm not feeling very well. So my brother Ron says, you're fine. He kind of talks me down, and I'm okay. But I remember that was not a good experience on Purple Haze. My first time out having acid. My brother Ron had to kind of coax me down. My second experience, we finally get out to California. We're playing some clubs in California. We go down to a beach in Malibu. In the beach in Malibu, there's a bunch of hippies on the beach. And they're running around on fire and having a good time. And by the coast of the ocean is beautiful. And we're so happy to be in California from Michigan. And we're asked to take a thing called window pane. It's like a little thing that big, a little clear piece of plastic, it looks like, a piece of paper, window pane. And you take it, and you feel really good. Okay, so then my brother Ron is so creative. He takes this piece of wood, like a staff, this long, down by the ocean. And like Moses says to the ocean, red. And all the waves of the ocean are coming in red. And he'll say, orange. And all the waves of the ocean come in looking orange. Yellow. And all the waves of the ocean come in looking yellow. Purple. And all the waves of the ocean come in looking purple. And I can't believe what I'm seeing. Every color of the rainbow that he called with that staff, I'm vividly seeing the ocean turn that color. And I'm saying, this is a hell of a drug. That whatever he's saying, I am seeing clear. And we fell in love with that. Can't believe our imaginations are so crystal clear on whatever is going on, we're seeing it. I'll never in my life forget that. I'll never in my life forget that. Here's a story about the Bundle Boys. The Bundle Boys and the Bundle family are a very rich family, rich in spirit, rich in soul, rich in integrity, out of Michigan. The oldest Bundle is Steve Bundle. He was the fastest runner in all of Michigan. Speed, demon. The brother Dirk is like more my age, a little older than me. He could throw 10 baskets out of 10 and make baskets. Then come Mark, then come Scotty, and then come these beautiful girls they have. But they're a very rich heart family. They moved to California, two of them. Steve and Dirk got a place in California. When I was out in California around the same time, there they were, boom. And you go by their house, and they could have beautiful herb, and you'd always hear the good war music of Slipping in the Darkness or whatever war was putting out of that time. And it was always a good vibe with Dirk and Steve and the Bundle Boys, just to lay that out. At this time, I'm very much struggling to make it as a musician in California, in LA. And I joined what's called the music registry, where you pay a little bit of money you have to ask them who is looking for a drummer. Who are the bands that are making money? You can join that band. I'd be about 18, 19 years old. The Deacon Williams, the Soul Revival, that band broke up. So now I'm stuck in LA trying to find a band to play with. And I joined this registry and I find out about a guy named Greg Fell. Greg Fell was another guitar player. He and I hook up. We do pretty well together. We kind of find this other band that needs a drummer and guitar player. We kind of join them. And their singer is a really quite good guy, like would be reminiscent of the Doors type of singer, of a Jim Morrison type singer. And because of him, we play some songs and we get an audition for the Rolling Stones manager. So we go to the concert venue, which would be like somewhere in a nice home, a nice joint. I remember going in there and there were like a lot of like, it's like an East Indian vibe with all the carpets hanging down from the ceiling and a big stage, big PA, and a packed audience for this band where the Stones manager is going to be for us to play for him. And before I go on the stage, I'm asked, do I want to take a hit of a joint? I think, sure, a joint is no big deal. Take a little hit of a joint. And that's fine. I don't take 1 or 2 hits. I walk on the stage. We're playing Billy Preston's "Doon Dun 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 Dun. Then I'm playing the drums. I'm noticing if I hit the tom tom, boom. It's a little delay. Boom. There's a little delay now and then when I'm playing, what I'm hearing. That's not right. But it kind of continues. Then the singer comes out. Now we're doing a song with him, who's like a Jim Morrison type guy, for his audition for the Rolling Stones manager. And now my timing's off from what I'm hearing when I'm playing by this thing I smoked. And it's not good, because I'm getting to a place, I'm getting freaked out because I can know that something's not right. And if you're me and I'm the singer looks back at me like this. And I'm doing my best to play and hang on, because I know I've done something that's not good. And when the song ends, I stand up and say, peace be with everyone, and I barely struggle to the side of the stage and go down the little stairway and collapse on the floor. That's how sick I was. And when I come to, it's a beautiful angel girl holding my head, and she has long hair, and she's touching my head, and she's making me feel better. And when I open my eyes, she's so beautiful. But then I hear, I'm gonna kill that nigger! I go, is that lead singer? He's mad at me. So then, my guests that night were the Bundle Boys, my friends from Michigan who were out in California. They say, Michael, I was Michael then, I wasn't even Narada. Michael, get up, come with us. This guy wants to fight. We gotta put you in the truck and the car and get you out of here. So I come to my senses, and they grab me, and the Bundle Boys save my life. And they drive me back to Pasadena, where I was staying with my cousin, Art Hackley, at Art Hackley's house in Pasadena in Kenneloa Canyon. And they saved my life, because that guy wanted to stomp me for messing up his audition with a Rolling Stones manager. And that's when I realized that me and drugs did not get along very well. This will be my last drug story. At my cousin Art Hackley's house in Kenneloa Canyon, Pasadena, where I stayed. I was so lucky. He gave me a place to stay. I would cook for him. I would clean for him. I would clean the pool. I'd make his dinners, and he gave me a room to sleep in and a room to shed in. This is about the same time as I heard the Mahavishnu Orchestra, Intermounting Flame, in downtown Pasadena. Had enough money to buy that album. Was blown away like everybody else by Billy Cobham. What he was playing on them damn drums with John McLaughlin, the Mahavishnu, and Jan Hammer and Jerry Goodman and Rick Laird. It was phenomenal what they had tapped into from Eastern philosophy, Eastern music, Indian Eastern music, merged with jazz, blues, soul, pop, rock on steroids, coming at you. I had that album. I could afford one more album of Alice Coltrane's Universal Consciousness. I also had Ravel's Pavane. I also had bought previously Buddy Miles Live, the double album, with a piece called Joe Tex, with Buddy Miles playing with Charlie Carp on guitar. He was 16 years old. And those cats, and they were mean. So from Mahavishnu Orchestra, Intermounting Flame, Buddy Miles with Charlie Carp and that great band he had, the double album of him doing Down by the River, the live version of Buddy was crazy. Ravel's Pavane for Dead Princess is so gorgeous. And Alice Coltrane's Universal Consciousness, where on the inside of the album, she would discuss to you what inspired her to write these different pieces. One called Sita Ram. And she would explain, if you say this word 1,000 times, you could have an enlightenment. Or she would go into what would inspire her, going down the Ganges River with Swami Satchidananda. That was her guru that inspired her. And she'd be playing the organ and the harp, and she wrote the strings, but who arranged the strings would be Ornette Coleman. So it'd be really beautiful, beautiful, again, Eastern-inspired music. I also had a book at that time called Raja Yoga. And Raja Yoga was about how to breathe. And my friend Joseph Powell gave me this book. Joseph Powell was another great person who played piano, wrote songs in Hollywood for, inspiring new artists. And he took me under his wing when I was struggling really hard in California. It's hard to meet somebody to come up with it, to make it. So he gave me that book, Raja Yoga. It was very inspirational for me at that time. So also at this time, I'm taking all this good music in, and I'm by myself, up in the woods on the hill, and I decide, let me just take a moment and relax and take this little window pane I've got. So I took a little window pane. I happened to have it, and I went and sat on the front lawn, and I meditated for a long time. And as I meditated on the front lawn, I'd be about maybe 19, early 19, and I could hear the birds so beautifully in the trees. And I decided to walk around where the big tree was and just watch these birds sing in this tree. And I became mesmerized by these birds singing in this tree and the sunlight coming through the branches and all the rays of the light coming through the tree. And on this drug, everything became crystallized. You could see every little thing so clearly. And the sound of the bird was magnified. So you heard his song so clearly. And it imprinted my soul. And I remember telling God, I don't want this to ever end. It's so beautiful. And then I could hear God say to me, now that you've experienced it, you can always remember it. It will always be with you. You don't have to ever forget this experience. Once you come back down, you can remember this experience for your whole life through. Then I got happy again, thinking that I didn't have to stay high on this drug. I could keep this memory, keep this vision with me in a normal state. And it was true. Years and years later, I was asked by a great conductor for the Oakland Symphony, Maestro Michael Morgan, to write a symphony for the Oakland Symphony. And I said, I'd love to. And I went to my piano and I channeled that experience of what I experienced seeing the sunlight come through the tree and hearing those birds so crystal clear. And I wrote a symphony of 7 movements in 45 minutes called The Enchanted Forest. And I recorded it on a cassette player. And as it worked out, it didn't record. So I had to go back and redo it again. And it all came back again. All 7 movements came back to me. And I recorded it all again. Because that's how vivid that experience was to me that I had. It was burned on my spirit. I could just talk about it all over again and visualize it all over again. So out of that experience, I was able to write a symphony, The Enchanted Forest. I want you all to hear it when you can. My brother Carlos Santana, he came to play guitar on 3 movements. We played that thing live in Oakland on 2 nights. And my girl Mina, with the Magic Orchestra, she was the one who took my piano and my tape and transcribed it for me for all of my parts that I was hearing, for them to all play it. And I'm telling you, I'm so glad that God's given me these experiences in my life that I can use as fodder. I can use as inspiration when I need them. I don't have to trip on drugs anymore. I don't do drugs anymore at all. I haven't for years and years and years. Couldn't do it now. I'm just too responsible with children and whatever. But back early on in my life, I can draw from that now. In America, right now, there are so many great musicians and great bands we will never see, tucked away in little places, but they're so good. They're so mighty. Maybe they don't get the right break. Maybe they don't get the right producer, the right whatever. Maybe we don't hear about them, but they're so good. Maybe now, because of Instagrams, TikToks, Facebooks, Instagrams, maybe we can find a way to find some of these hidden talents because they're out there. And I remember one time, we decided to kind of have fun on our day off. So we had a battle of the bands in the park. Deacon Williams Soul Revival versus against the Shades of Brown. What fun that was. We took our own instruments out there, set them up. We played first, Deacon Williams Soul Revival. We played, had a good time. Then comes on the Shades of Brown. Oh, so mean. People. Imagine Hendrix and the baddest drummer and the baddest bass player and the baddest horn section you could ever hear. Turning, grooving, and moving and carrying on and playing. And I just won't forget it. So that's how I know. You think, damn, how will I ever make it? If they can't make it, how am I going to make it? Because I knew they were great. Then we have funny things like, on an off day, let's go to the movies together. So then we go to the movies and go see Vincent Price, The Pit and the Pendulum with Peter Lorre. And you go in there and you lose your mind watching The Pit and the Pendulum with the Shades of Brown on your off day. Because not much else to do. And then, the living conditions aren't very good. You all live together or live in a place where it's kind of small. That's how the road life is. It's kind of hard to be on the road, actually. So you really live for the playing. You really live for when you're on the stage. And it's incredible what you learn being on them stages every night. Like Carlos says, you start playing every night, you get good real fast. It's true. You start playing every night, you get good real fast. So I'm so thankful for my road life that I have a road life. I mean, a lot of it was kind of like dingy and like, whoa. But that's where it comes from. That's where Hendrix came from. Hendrix came the meanest guitar player in the world because he played on all those dives and all those little gut bucket places with Little Richard or Eliza Brothers, whoever he did worked with, whoever, Wilson Pickett's or whoever it was. He knew all that stuff. And then all the pretty changes, all the pretty things he could do, besides just be a monster blues player and take it to outer space, all the pretty stuff he could do. So that's why I know on that Chitlin circuit, them boys can play everything. They're mean. So I take off my hat to all the players in the world that we may or may not ever know, out there in them Chitlin circuits, living in them little shacks, living in them little places and traveling on them little buses, playing their little hearts out on the music, and you wonder how you can ever make it. Well, there is one thing I can tell you. Go and meet the people you love. Because if you go and meet the people you love and ingratiate yourself with the people you love, that could be the thing that opens the door to let you in to a higher world. I was so fortunate to meet John McLaughlin. I was so fortunate that Apeksha, Ron was his name, introduced me to meet John McLaughlin in Hartford, Connecticut, and told me when I met him that his music was largely due to his prayer life, his meditation life with Guru Sri Chinmoy. And I said, I know, I see it on the back of your jackets, all these poems written by the Guru. And then not long after, I became a disciple of this Guru. And it changed my life. I went from being a busboy in a restaurant and being on the road playing these little dives to playing with the Mahavishnu Orchestra and recording with the Beatles producer, George Martin, in London. So you do have to go out of your way to meet people. You can't just be on the road stuck up when no one's going to really see you. You have to make an effort to meet somebody. Ingratiate yourself. I never really understood that because I'm not that way so much. I'm kind of shy. But when it comes to someone who I love, like Mahavishnu or like Jimi Hendrix or people like that who we love, your soul jumps out of your body and you have to meet them. You have to do, you just can't stop yourself. You just can't stop it. So I encourage you, those musicians in the world who want to do great things in the world and good things in the world with your music, go out of your way to write letters to those who you love and tell them why you love them and meet those who you love and be prepared to change your life. If the person you love don't drink, then you don't drink. The person you love don't eat no meat, then you don't eat no meat. Change your life up. Change up. Get down with those who you love. Get down. Be open, be willing, like a willow tree, because that's where success lives, in the willow tree. When you can bend and you don't break. When you're rigid, you break. But like a willow tree, things get stormy, you can flow with it. You can bend with it. You can flow with life, because that's how you get over. Advice, wash. Be clean. No one wants to be around somebody who smells bad or who's not clean. Under your nails, hair. You think about it. You're in close proximity with people on buses, on stages, around sound checks, rehearsals. Bad breath, no good. Uncleanliness, no good. I say, smell sweet, be as pure and godly as you can, and be friendly with people who want to be around you and want to ask you what you think about this. What do you think about that? How do you think it'd be if we do that? And be open to say, how about we try this then? Okay, how about we try that? So then people can kind of grow a trust with you, grow a friendship. Because after all, that's all it is a trust. I can trust you because you're giving me love. You're giving me respect. You're giving me kindness. It's nice to be able to connect and make things happen for yourself. You don't want to be so like a cloud where you can't ever ground. No, you got to ground. You got to ground. You got to make your hits. You got to manifest. You got to do what you're here to do. You know, Prince grounded and did what he had to do. Now he's off in heaven somewhere. But a lot of us are still here. So it means we're still looking for the hit, for the right song, for the right molecules, you know, and for the right friendships. So if I'm going to give you some advice, you know, there is no book on it. So just be open to the way the wind is blowing and keep your sail up. And what's the sail up? The sail up means you're happy, you're grateful to be alive. Because people can smell they can smell that your sail is up. And you're going to sail in the direction of gratitude. You're going to sail in the direction of love. You're going to sail in the direction of, I want to get along. I don't want to be a problem starter. I want to be a problem solver. I want to be a friend to help us get through this journey peacefully, beautifully, and laughter. And when it gets down to playing, bring some passion to the stage. Set a fire on the stage. When it's your time to solo, play something that's going to inspire you to take it higher. When it's your turn to solo, I want to play something that's going to inspire you to take it higher. If it's by playing less or by playing more. So, Vishnu would say, listening is very important, that we learn to listen. Listening is very important. And then he would say, the power of restraint is very important. Because a lot of cats like me, we're inspired by Billy. We're inspired by these cats that we love, Mitch Mitchell and all them cats, playing a lot of stuff. But then we got to have what's called the power of restraint, to not overdo it. I have a friendship with my brother Carlos Santana, and I show my love to Carlos by slowing myself down to be able to really hear him and listen to him, because he comes from such a deep place that if you don't slow yourself down to go to that deep place with him, it never connects to happen. And I've learned that through my time with Mahavishnu, Carlos, Guru Sri Chinmoy. All my real friendships have come from me slowing myself down, backing myself down with the power of restraint to just listen to what they want to say and feel what they're saying to me. It's really important. If we want to grow in the world and climb the ladder of success, and climb the ladder of progress, and climb the ladder of manifestation, climb the ladder of growth, when God talks, you got to be able to listen. Otherwise, it's falling on some deaf ears, and they ain't no good. So when Carlos talks, that's like God walking in a human body. When Stevie talks, Quincy Jones talks, whoever, your mother talks, your father talks, your brother talks, that's like God in a human body. So it's important that we can take time to learn to listen. Okay, now you're on the bandstand. Who do you admire? You admire Miles Davis? You better learn to listen. If you put, you better hear it. Today is Ron Carter's birthday. Why we salute Ron Carter? The great bass player. Could hang with Miles. Could ground Tony Williams. Tony played everything in the damn book, and did. But even Tony said he could do all that because he had Ron Carter next to him, grounded. Because Ron could listen and ground it. So you love Herbie Hancock. You love a whole lot of cats. You got to have the power of listening for it to all swing.